Hello and welcome to part 2 of 3 of the 3-phase motor VFD install on my mill. The reason it's going to be 3-part is because all the parts didn't come in to make this happen. But it also gave me time to rethink the direction I'm going in, and I'm going to eliminate those spacers I put under the motor. If you remember, if you watched part 1, I was going to elevate the motor a little bit so that I could put a shaft extender on the motor itself. It's a fairly short shaft on the motor itself. So in order to put the shaft extender on there and make it right, I had to elevate the motor. Well, I got to thinking about it. I got a 3-step pulley here, a pair of 3-step pulleys here, and another one here. So I've got 2 places to change my range. So what I'm going to do is put a single pulley on my motor in the top position, which allows me to use the short shaft just barely on the motor I got and mounting it normal. But the first thing we got to do is mount this box on here and start mounting the VFD, and then we'll wait for parts and do part 3. Let me show you what we got here. Okay, I've taken the door off of my electrical panel here, and it had bolts going through here, carriage bolts, and this plate bolted to the inside. Well, I'm going to utilize those holes, and I got the tape on there so that it won't scratch up my mill, but I'm going to strap it to the mill, get it situated where I want it, and then transfer my holes to the mill itself. I'm really not enjoying the idea of drilling into my mill, but it has to be done. Okay. Yeah, that electrical tape makes it kind of grab the mill. That's good. Kind of. Well, this mill has a straight section here, and then it kind of starts going out. And I want to be on that straight section. That's on the straight section. Now, it's hard to see with this in front of it, but it does like that. So, I don't want to get in the way of that. I don't think it will be. It also gets more narrow this way, and I'm afraid I'm going to start drilling in that curve. And I think I'll be all right. So I just need to get that exactly where I want it, and then transfer my holes. Problem is, I can't use a level on it because the floor is not level. Okay, I got this figured out. I taped a couple of shims on there and leveled my tape, or leveled the level to my table. Dead on there. Cheap little level. I'm not going to get it perfect, but it'll be close. I believe that's it. I got these, well, they used to be rubber feet, and I drilled the holes out, and I'm going to put them on the bolt that's going through, and that will allow me to compress or decompress that to kind of level it this way. Got a transfer punch, 1/4-inch extension, and a socket that the transfer punch fits into. I needed an extension. like it. I'm just going to set this on there loose, make sure it all fits. I got to take it back off and drill holes in this box for all the electrical fittings. I'm going to put a switch on the side, put some vents in it. Got to have some ventilation for the VFD. Okay, this one's for the switch, power switch for the VFD. Well, I had to go to my square column drill press, because that box, the mill wouldn't go down low enough. This is not the fitting that goes in here, but it's the same size. I'll deburr that, there we go. I'll deburr that a little bit. Pretty rough looking. Well, I got all the, I got a switch mounted on the side here, power switch for the VFD. And I've got the power in right there. And this will be the power going to the motor and vents on the side. So I'm ready to mount the VFD on this plate. But I'm going to have to mount it off-center. And the reason I got it mounted off-center is because of this switch right here. I probably could have found a more appropriate switch, but it was free. So I have to mount it just like that. But that should work okay. Okay, I've got 3 sets of wires here, and to differentiate them, I put a blue stripe on one and a black stripe on another, and this one has no stripe. This one I cut 2 of the leads off. That's going to be a power for an indicator light. The other one, I'll use 3 of the 4 leads, and this one, I will pair 2 of them together as a common and use the other 2 leads. And the reason for doing that is my directional switch will have one way black with the common, and the other way will be blue with the common. Switch to blue, in other words, on the other end I will have two separate terminals to mount the commons on. So I've got to pair those, the black and the blue, together. Boy, those things work great. It doesn't seem to matter, like I can put a bigger connector on the smaller wires. In fact, I used blue on the single where I didn't join two wires together, but thought I'd try this red and it fits fine. So there's one. Now I need 3 of the 4 on this one. Which one do I cut out? I'm going to take the brown out of there. Okay, for setting up remote control of this VFD, I've got to change P50 here. It says multifunction input 1, X1. In other words, the binding post is X1, this is X2, this is X3, this is X4. So X1 needs to be 5 wired operation, wire forward operation, and X2 needs to be wired reverse operation. In other words, wire 5 and 6 need to be connected to the common to make this go forward or reverse. So it needs to be, the two I got wired together need to go in the common right there. And there's X1 and X2 right there. There we go. Just like that. Okay, right here is the potentiometer. VL1 is the center tap and common is the common, and it says 10 to 5 volts. On the VFD, I think it says 5. So there's the common. Common is black. And then one has to go to VL1 and 5 volts. Looks like VI1 here. Okay. Now it's all wired. The only thing I have to hook up is the indicator light. And I think I will do that just directly off the power switch. I'm going to have to take this back off because I got some panel mount 110 volt outlets that are going to go right here. That'll be to plug my coolant and my DRO into. This panel goes in with these kind of unique nuts here. They got a O-ring on them to make them waterproof, which I'm not too concerned about, but I'm going to use them anyway. Like I said, I'll have to take this back off to cut the holes for that panel, but I'm just going to test mount it for now. And the VFD with the plate mounts to those studs. Like that. Of course, I don't have the nuts in my hand, but then the wires will come up. The power goes in here, and this will go. Oh, can you see that? Power goes in here, and that's the conduit that goes to the motor. And the control wires will go in that same conduit to the motor, and then from the motor to the control switch. So I'm getting excited about this. It's looking good. The motor pulley came in. It's a large motor pulley, but the pulley it's driving is also large. By using that one pulley, it can be in the right position. It's going to work out good. The motor has a 3/4 shaft and a 6mm key. So what I'm doing is taking this down to 3/16, 1.88. I think that's 3/16, isn't it? Almost. 1.875. Got to take it down just a hair more. 23. Oh, heck yeah. I think that pulley will be positioned about right there, which will be plenty good enough. Yeah, that'd be about right. Maybe right there. We'll see. Okay, the way this is going to mount in the mill, I need everything to go in this side and come out this side. So I got to bore a hole in this box right here. Okay, I got to mount this in the control panel. That's my speed control. And I might mount this, I don't think so. I got another larger switch coming. This one would be totally good, but it looks kind of cheap. I could mount that. It's off, reverse, and forward. But I got another switch coming. We're going to see if that'll fit in the panel. If not, I may use this. Okay, I just cut the plugs on one side. Let's see if I can duplicate that again on this side. I got the coordinates there. Good tight fit, I like it. Well, it's time to take this box back off, drill some holes in it, and I'm going to put an indicator light up there for power on the VFD. I think the pain in the neck to get off here though. I've got a couple of options. I may end up putting this in the future. I don't know. I don't know if I like a toggle in there or not. We'll see. There we go. Speed control, forward and reverse. I like it. Okay, got this all mounted and I'm waiting for some, I think they're called Wago connectors. They're little snap connectors to join these together like little bus bars. And I need to do that before I put the VFD in there. So I'm at a point where I can remove that motor and mount the new motor. And tomorrow I'll run out and get a belt the right length. And then when my Wago connectors come in, I'll hook everything together. So taking the motor off is the next step. Wow, got interference there. You're gonna have to grind part of, I'm gonna have to take part of the pulley off. Yep, I'm gonna have to take the outside of that pulley down. Supposed to be a 3/8 and a 1/2 inch pulley. Yeah, it should work. Yep, that'll work. Well, I guess I better tighten the pulley on the shaft. Oh yeah, looks like it lines up perfect. I can't believe it, I actually had a belt that fit it. It's a little worn out, but at least I got a reference for a size. These little connectors, Wago connectors, are fantastic. Never used them before. Like a miniature little bus bar. Problem I have here is the wires coming off these panel plugs. They're AC panel plugs, and the coating is black is neutral, and normally black is hot. So, and I can't get the prongs off there. They're welded on there where I can't get them off, and I'm afraid I'm going to break them. So I'm just going to put a white wire on that because that's so hot. Boy, those are great. And I'm going to tape those to the back of the panel and then put the VFD in there, and they'll remain captive behind that panel. So the only wires I'll see is this white and the black. And the ground, of course. I wish I had some of that 3M mounting tape. I think this tape, pretty good stuff. It'll hold it for a while. And yellow is my ground. And I'll correct that with a green wire. Well, I think I'm done. The only thing I lack doing here is double checking my wiring. I wish I'd put that wire behind that switch. I got to take the VFD out to get it behind there, but it should be all right. I guess I'm ready to plug it in. Kind of scary. Okay, it came on. That's a good sign. Now I got to wire up the motor. And now I can try this and see if the motor runs without the remote wiring. Hey. This is a little neon light that indicates the VFD is on. I wish it was a little brighter, but it'll be good enough. Just help me to remember to turn it off. Okay, let's program this thing to work with the front panel. Hit program and go to 10. and 10 should be 2. And 11 should be 2. $50 needs to be 5. And 51 needs to be 6. Showing 100 hertz. Okay, the speed indicator is backwards. So I should be able to change. Okay, I swapped the wires around on the potentiometer and it's working right now. Counterclockwise slows it down, and watch that, it'll speed up. Yeah. So, potentiometer's right. Now we got to see if the mill will run with the switch. Okay, here goes. That's forward. Now I can make the other side forward if I want. I like it. Yeah, I like that. Pretty slick. I'll probably shorten these leads a little bit to my pump and to my DRO, but they turn off with the mill, with this power switch. And the other one will be for a power feed, or the other one on the other side. I like it. Let's make a mess and try this out. See if it slows down. It's about a quarter-inch cut into half-inch steel, running at 700 RPM. If it's slowing down, it's not slowing down much. I like it. Anyway, that about wraps up the three-phase motor VFD install on my Wells Index mill. Thanks for joining me. Be sure and subscribe and ring that bell.